October 20th, 2015 Village of Peoria Heights Board of Trustees meeting. Meeting is now called to order. Would you please rise and join us in the pledge of the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our village clerk could not be here tonight, so I need a motion from the board to temporarily appoint Administrator Fick to take care of our minutes.
So moved.
Motion from Trustee Cumming.
Second.
Second from Trustee Carter. All those in favor of appointing Administrator Fick to take care of the minutes tonight, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, please say no. Thank you. Amazingly enough, the ayes have it. Mr. Administrator, will you please call roll?
Trustee Harn?
Present.
Trustee Carter?
Present.
Trustee Mariscal?
Present.
Trustee Cumming?
Present.
Trustee Reichert?
Present.
Trustee Fuller?
Okay, thank you very much. First order of business tonight is the approval of the Board of Trustees minutes for October 6, 2015 meeting. Are there any changes that need to be made to the minutes?
Yeah, I have a concern. What I'm curious about is why the verbatim recordings of the prior meeting were altered.
Could you explain yourself?
Yes, absolutely. There is a 25-second lapse in the verbatim video recordings of the last meeting.
You mean the video?
It just coincidentally happens to occur right when I begin my statement. So I'm curious as to who doctored that footage, who gave that order.
Well, and I'm not going to ask Jen to speak, but I know we talked about it, and you said there was an error, something in the process when you were finalizing your disc or whatever, and you said there was going to be a little gap in it. So apparently that's where it took place, but there was no order to alter the recording.
Okay, I'm just curious as to why there was an attempt made to chill frank discussion. Obviously, the public is privy to that information. So I'm curious as to why there was an intentional obfuscation of that information.
There was nothing intentional. That was just explained.
Okay, well, why is there no precedent for it? I looked back through several of the prior meetings' videos, and never occurred before.
I will speak. It's a new camera, and I didn't turn off demo mode. So when I'm scrolling, if I don't zoom in and out, it goes into that demo mode. I did turn it off today. It was something I hadn't seen. So it's only the third time I've used the camera, so I didn't know the demo mode turned back on after I unplugged the camera.
Okay, well,
So
all I'm saying
It
is...
actually did happen more than once, because I was trying to keep it from happening, but I couldn't tell how long it was going to happen.
Okay,
It wasn't anything, I warned him ahead of time that there was going to be that gap.
prima facie, this appears to be a violation of OMA, and if a proper explanation isn't given, I will go ahead and exercise whatever recourse I have to. So,
Well, that'd be great. Do you want to revisit the capricious and what was the other term?
arbitrary, Mayor.
Arbitrary? We can revisit it again right now if you
No,
want to.
I'm not at all concerned with the arbitrary capricious application of the event that transpired on October 3rd. What I'm concerned with now is, like I said, the obfuscation of information I was trying to convey to the public.
You know, you can go ahead and shoot as many accusations around as you want to.
Okay.
Nobody on this board, or Jen or anybody else, is interested in, stopping anybody's free speech.
Okay.
Particularly when every question you had, 2 weeks ago was answered.
It wasn't answered,
It
Mayor.
was completely
It
answered.
wasn't answered.
Tell me what wasn't answered.
What occurred did not ever occur on an official agenda, and there was no official vote ever cast.
There's no precedent for a
Sure there is.
a vote being taken to close down a section of the street there for that night.
Okay, well, I've conferred with individuals, and they say that there is precedent for that. So,
There may be precedent on certain occasions, but there's not precedent all the time.
okay, so then again, it's arbitrary and capricious application of that standard.
There's no standard, Trustee Mariscal.
Okay.
I mean, once again, if you want to,
I just
pursue
find
things,
I find it extremely coincidental that at the beginning of my statement, the camera just so happens to malfunction.
It is awfully coincidental, but I'm telling you right now, nobody here
Okay.
did anything
Okay.
to
Okay.
shut you
Well,
down.
then, I'll go ahead and let the public access counselor determine that, Mayor.
All
Or the
right,
state's attorney, one of the two.
well, keep on going up. So was there any change you wanted to make to the minutes?
No, sir.
All right. Anything else regarding the minutes? Need a motion for approval, please?
I move to approve the minutes.
We have a motion from trustee Reichert,
Second.
second from trustee Cumming. All those in favor of approving the Board of Trustees minutes for the October 6, 2015 meeting as submitted, please signify by saying aye.
Nay.
Aye.
Okay, we have 4 in favor and 1 nay. Next order of new business tonight is the approval of executive session minutes for October 6, 2015. Need a motion for approval, please?
I move to approve the executive session minutes.
Motion from trustee Reichert. Need a second? Second from trustee Harn. All those in favor of approving the executive session minutes for October 6, 2015, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, please say no. Thank you, the ayes have it. Village Clerk Shauna Musselman couldn't be here tonight. Mr. Administrator, any correspondence that you're aware of?
I have nothing this evening, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you. No announcements tonight, so we'll go first to Public Works with trustee Harn.
Thank you, Mayor Allen. The only thing I have is we will be doing hydrant flushing beginning October 26th around 7:30 in the morning. And the guys usually work till around lunch. I don't have an exact time for when they quit, but it will begin October 26th and go through the 30th. And if anybody would like to know when they're hydrant flushing in their area, they can call 686-2375. I could read it for you, but it's probably easier just to call if you're concerned about it.
Or it's on the website as well.
There we go.
All righty. Is that it tonight?
That's all.
Okay, any questions at all for trustee Harn?
I would add that it is being shared on Facebook, so it is making the rounds and the information is getting out there.
It's trending.
It's trending, yes, it is. It's hot.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll move to administration personnel with trustee Cumming.
Thank you, Mayor Allen. I actually do have a couple of announcements this evening for a change. First one being was the leaves are starting to change and the weather is getting cooler on some days and warmer, then cooler again. Tower Park season is winding down, and the last day that the public will be able to ascend the glass elevator up to the top of the tower will be Halloween, October 31st, and the tower will be closed starting November 1st of this year, and will reopen in early spring, correct? What's the usual, about April?
It's April, I believe.
April.
Yeah.
Late April.
And we'll get that information out to the public when we firm up that reopening date. And secondly, some of you might remember many moons ago, we approved the process to digitize our codes and ordinances and get those online and make those available to the public as part of our efforts to be transparent in our government. And we just received the booklet for our review. Department heads have until, I think it's November 16th, to look through the codes that apply to their specific department and make any edits or changes. And once we have the green light on that, we'll get it back to Sterling Codifiers out in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and look to get that, a link on our website sometime late November, early December.
All right, thank you. Any questions at all for trustee Cumming? Okay, thanks again. We'll go to economic development, village improvements with trustee Carter.
Thank you. I just want to make an announcement of the Peoria Heights Chamber of Commerce second annual fall celebration events. Excuse me. The orange and black sale is a great sales October 26th through the 31st at participating merchants. October 31st sidewalk sale, also at the participating merchants. It's down the main Prospect Road. What do we call that? Heights?
Downtown corridor.
Help me out, Martin, huh?
What? What, the event or?
What do you call the the restaurant venues is where they're.
Oh, business district, I
Business
call it the
district.
downtown corridor.
There you go, business district, that's what I was looking
Little
for.
Galena, yeah.
Yeah.
Did we ever come up with an official name? I know we were talking about
We were
it.
throwing it around, but I don't remember what we came up with.
Nothing that stuck.
Yeah.
They're going to have, they're going to vote on decorating pumpkins at participating businesses October 24th through the 30th. Costume parade is Saturday, October 31st at 11 a.m., starting at Leaves and Beans. And then after that, there'll be refreshments and games. So next week, we have a busy week in the Heights. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Any questions at all for Trustee Carter? All right, thank you again. We'll move to the Police Department. Trustee Fuller's not here tonight. Chief, anything new on the police front?
Well, just the only announcement I have is the next neighborhood watch meeting will be October 26th at 6:30 here at Village Hall. No costume required.
All right.
Hey, Chief, has there been any word, are they going to do a trunk or treat program for Halloween down at the grade school this year? I know we didn't do one last year, but...
I have not heard this year.
I'd like to get some candy if I could. No, I'm just kidding.
Any more questions at all for Chief Sutton? Okay, thank you very much. We'll move to building property maintenance with Trustee Mariscal.
Thank you, Mayor. I have nothing to report.
All right, thank you very much. We'll move to the fire department with Trustee Reichert.
Thank you, Mayor. I just have one announcement that on November the 7th, the fire department is going to be doing training down on Galena Road at the Peoria Training Tower. And if any of the trustees or administration would be interested in going down and either observing or participating, you can email the fire chief and make arrangements with him, and you're invited to do that.
But when is that? I'm sorry.
November 7th.
All right.
What will you get to do if you show up?
Or no?
You can observe, or he will actually let you go through the training tower, correct?
That I will. You could tear up cars. We're going to utilize our new equipment that you bought for us recently.
Yeah.
And also we're going to have live fires going on in the tower. If you're interested, we'll make sure we have people with you. We'll have you go in there if you'd like. Full gear.
What time is it?
CBA, whole 9 yards.
You can either go in the morning or the afternoon, arrange a time with the chief, and
Well, I welcome you all. Or I should say we welcome you all.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind trying out the Jaws of
Well,
Life.
I'm interested in that. So what time, we just have to pick a time with you?
Well, my preference would be if there's an interest from the village board, if we could kind of cloister everybody together one time slot, either in the morning or in the afternoon. That way I can schedule the rest of the training around that. Because when it comes to auto extrication, we want to do a show and tell first. Basically, we're going to show you what we do when an incident occurs, how it occurs, and in real time. And then we'll have you come in and utilize the tools with our guidance and assistance. Same way with using live fire on the tower. So we downsize that a little bit when we don't have firefighters in there, so inside the tower.
Right.
Administrator Fick? Yeah. You and I could be dummies.
And we can talk more about this.
Are you allowed in there with that growth? Or is that a hazard?
That's a good point. We may have to talk about that.
Unfortunately, no.
I'm out.
You're out.
It's a fire hazard. Okay, any questions at all for Trustee Reichert? Okay, thank you very much, everyone. Any comments from the audience? Roberta? Okay. Well, we thank everyone for attending. Before we move on for Trustee Mariscal, I just want to clarify one thing too, is that for safety's purpose, right before this thing happened over at Lucky's, I asked the board, does anybody have a problem with shutting down Kelly between Prospect and the alley, because we were afraid that the crowd was going to spill out into that area. much the same way as what was done with TNTs, was, does anybody have any problems with closing down that area because we were concerned about too many people crowding into one area? So we decided, I brought it to the board and said, does anybody have a problem with that? So in my mind, we did it for TNTs, we also did it for Lucky's, but it was also a safety factor involved, not showing favoritism to anything, but appreciating the business that these two businesses bring in. And the noise factors, we can always, address that before anything comes up again. But nothing was done to avoid anyone's input. And to be honest with you, I wasn't really even paying attention who all was there, who wasn't. When at the departmental, when I asked, does anybody have a problem with that? But there was no actual vote taken, but I asked the board, does anybody have a problem with that? Okay. For both those instances there.
Okay.
Okay, no old business tonight, so we'll move to new business. And first is the authorization to allow Pearl Companies to make an addition at 1003 East Toledo, and that will be presented by Trustee Carter.
Thank you. It looks like the Planning Commission met on Tuesday, October 8th on this, and the project being proposed was an addition to an existing garage for Pearl Companies over on Toledo. The proposal was made by David Schuttle, Vice President of Information Technology at Pearl Companies. They explained the proposed project will consist of construction of 21 feet by 20 feet addition on the west side of an existing 14,858 square foot building. This block will bunker with an onto the west side of an, oh wait, I already read that, sorry. With a steel grating ceiling will be used to house an electrical generator and an air conditioner condensers. The electrical generator and air conditioners will provide electricity and cooling for the interior data center that provides information to the technology of Pearl Centers. Before I make a, can I make a comment? I mean, do we know like how loud that's going to be? Because I know the school, they had to like plant trees and stuff because of their noise. Do we know that?
I think that our building inspector will probably keep tabs on that and also check on it once it would be installed or...
Right, it's a block building. They're the closest neighbor, I don't know how many feet away, but it's also got another building in between there to buffer it, and I don't think the equipment, I think it's backup equipment that only operates if there's a power failure, right?
Okay.
It's just an emergency.
So it's not going to run very often.
It'll
Yeah.
probably do a test fire once every couple weeks. That's how ours are.
Do I make a motion to go with the Planning Commission for vote?
Okay, we have a motion from Trustee Carter.
Second.
Second from Trustee Cumming. Any questions or comments from the board before the board votes? Okay, once again, this is for board approval of the authorization to allow Pearl Companies to make an addition at the 1003 East Toledo as outlined by Trustee Carter. Mr. Administrator, would you please call roll?
Trustee Harn?
Aye.
Trustee Carter?
Aye.
Trustee Mariscal?
Aye.
Trustee Cumming?
Aye.
Trustee Reichert?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. By a vote of 5-0, the board has approved the Pearl Companies to make the addition to 1003 East Toledo, as outlined by Trustee Carter. Next order of new business tonight is the approval of the Veterans Day ceremony on Saturday, November 7th, and that will be presented by Trustee Carter.
Thank you. The General Wayne Downey American Legion Post 1111 Peoria Heights is requesting the use of the Tower Park on November 7th, which is a Saturday, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. They are not having a parade this year, so they do not need the police department or any barricades. So I make a motion to allow them to use the Tower Park.
Have a motion from Trustee Carter.
Second.
Second from Trustee Mariscal. Any questions or comments from the board before the board votes? Okay, once again, this is for board approval of the Veterans Day ceremony on Saturday, November 7th, 2015, to be held at the Tower Park here at Village Hall, as presented by Trustee Carter. Mr. Administrator, would you please call roll?
Trustee Harn?
Aye.
Trustee Carter?
Aye.
Trustee Mariscal?
Aye.
Trustee Cumming?
Aye.
Trustee Reichert?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. By a vote of 5-0, the board has approved the Veterans Day ceremony for Saturday, November 7th, to be held here at Tower Park. Next order of new business tonight is the appointment of Mr. Roger Larson to the Planning Commission. We are all familiar with Mr. Larson, who's in the audience, and I've already asked him not to give that 10-minute speech because there is a Cub game tonight, so he said he was planning on doing a half-hour speech anyway, but we all know Roger's done an outstanding job while with Richwoods Township and has been a strong advocate of the village and everything good and building bridges and everything positive out of that. So I'm asking the board to make a motion to approve the appointment of Mr. Roger Larson to the Planning Commission.
So moved.
Have a motion from trustee Cumming.
Second.
Second from trustee Mariscal. Any questions or comments from the board before the board votes? Okay, once again, this is for board approval of the appointment of Roger Larson to the Planning Commission. Mr. Administrator, would you please call roll?
Trustee Harn.
Aye.
Trustee Carter.
Aye.
Trustee Mariscal.
Aye.
Trustee Cumming.
Aye.
Trustee Reichert.
Aye.
Okay, thank you by a vote of 5-0. Board has approved the appointment of Mr. Roger Larson to the Planning Commission. You have no idea what you got yourself into, but we appreciate it. Next up is the treasurer's report, and that will be read by our village administrator, Mr. Matthew Fick.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is the Treasury Report for September, submitted by Cliff Brumbaugh, Village Treasurer. In the village accounts, the general fund balance, $885,350.43. Motor fuel tax, $217,846.22. The police drug savings, $554.86. Tax increment finance account, $53,943.90. Healthcare flex spending account, $10,256.27 for a grand total in the village accounts, $1,167,951.68. In the waterworks account, the waterworks balance is $537,886.82. Infrastructure maintenance fee, $94,027.91. Service deposits, $87,311.05, and grant funds of $1,000.57 for a grand total in the waterworks of $720,226.35.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions or comments regarding the treasurer's report? Okay, then we will accept it as read. Our next departmental committee meeting will be held Tuesday, October 27th at 6:30 p.m. And the next Board of Trustees meeting will be held Tuesday, November 3rd at 6:30 p.m. Is there any other business to come before the board this evening?
I move to adjourn.
Have a motion from trustee Cumming.
Second.
Second from trustee Carter. All those in favor of adjourning the meeting at this time, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, please say no. Thank you. The ayes have it. Meeting is now adjourned. We thank everyone for attending.